Hello and welcome to the Matrix Fitness live workout. My name is Matt Gleed, and today's workout we are going to try to challenge you through your fitness, through your strength, and also through some core exercises as well. We've got 3 rounds of exercises and we're going to do each round twice. As we do the second circuit, I'll give you options as to progress those exercises or make them slightly easier if you need them as well. You are going to need a little bit of space today. So I've got a nice bit of space here, and I've also got a mat nearby me ready for our second round of exercise as well. I'm going to take you through the warm-up. I'll be with you through every single repetition, and I'll also take you through a cool down so that your body is completely rested at the end of this as well, albeit a little bit fitter, hopefully. So let's get you ready to warm up, and then we'll take you through the rest of the exercises. So to begin with, just start to open up your arms across your body. And all you're looking to do here is just to create a bit of mobility for your shoulders, and also just to get a little bit of movement through the shoulders, upper back, stretching out through the chest muscles and working through the shoulders. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to bring your hands around about shoulder height, and I'm going to pivot off my feet as I rotate round from side to side. Doing this movement, what we're going to do is help, hopefully, create a little bit of mobility so that when we actually come to our exercises, we've got you moving well and feeling good as well. Next up, we're going to take you into a little bit of a squat. So lowering your hips down towards your heels. And as we start to do these exercises, it's going to become really important that we start to challenge your depth. So see if you can go a little bit lower. And the reason why that's important today is because our first 2 exercises are going to be leg-focused exercises for your quadriceps. So we're going to be needing to make sure that we've got the blood running through these muscles, and you've got your ankles, knees, and hips all nice and mobile as well. Let's continue that theme by taking you into a step-back lunge. So your back foot takes a large step, then lower the back knee down towards the floor, and I'm using my arms just to help counterbalance my body weight, and also just control that motion as I take that large step back and then down towards the floor. I'm keeping my head straight, looking straight ahead of me. So you might be doing the same, either looking at the monitor, the TV. It could be a reflection in a mirror or the window. Whatever you're doing at home, just to help keep you in that good form as well. Now let's start to get your heart rates up a little bit more. So imagine you've got a skipping rope. I just want you pushing off the floor, starting to get your heart rates up a little bit. Now, this is going to help prepare you for some of our potential jumping exercises. Now, I know some of you will want to get after a little bit more fitness work, especially if it's been raining in your house, and therefore you're getting a bit of a wet weather day. But at the same time, this will help prepare you for some of the movements we're going to do. Now, let's just start to move this jump from side to side, just so we can put a bit of agility work, start to prepare the calves and your ankles a little bit more as well. Now, you don't have to do any jumping work today. I will be able to give you regressions to make the exercises a little bit more comfortable for you if jumping isn't your thing. Now, just split those legs, 1 forwards and 1 backwards. We've got quite a few movements today which are going to be potentially dynamic in terms of you can push your fitness and turn these into jumps as well. Okay, let's rest there. What we're going to do is have a little punching combination. So the hands up to the side of your face, your jab, cross, jab. We're going to jump 180 degrees and then again jab, cross, jab. Now, as you're throwing these punches out in front of you, what you're going to be doing is pivoting off your feet. This not only gives you a bit of mobility in your ankles, your hips, but it also allows you to connect a whole area of muscle all the way running from your shoulders all the way down to the back of the body as well. So this is a great way of starting to integrate the muscles as they start to go through the workout. Last one's here. Excellent. Just loosen yourself up a little bit. Let's take into some knee strikes as well. So we're going to pivot the feet over to one side. Hands are going to go high, and you're going to drive your knee into a big range of movement. We'll pivot over to the opposite side, and again, drive your knee to a high position. Now, as we start to pivot from one side to the other, what I'm looking for you to do is to create a big mobility movement here, just so we can be prepared for the exercises that are going to be coming up. But at the same time, it helps keep your heart rates high and challenge your fitness as well. And hopefully you can just start to feel that your breathing is getting a little bit deeper, but certainly you're going to start to feel your temperature rise as well. Now, it's time to take you through our first exercise. This one is going to start with your feet together. It's called a jumping jack, but we're going to add it into a squat as well. So you jump out, back together, and then into a squat. Low impact options would be a half jack, and then into the squat. Let's get going for 45 seconds. So jumping jack into a squat, and then push out So it's a wide movement, then a narrow movement before we take you into a squat. You've got the half option if you would like to as well. And you can alternate from side to side with that half jack movement. So if you can, stay with me, and we'll start to push your heart rates up a little bit more. So this is where we can start to get under a little bit more fitness work. We can start to burn a few calories. We can get down and back up again as quickly as you feel comfortable to work with. Now, don't forget, we will be doing these exercises twice. So the next time we do these, if you want to go straight into these jumping jacks and then into that deep squat, you can do straight away. Now, the second exercise we're going to have a look at is a 180-degree prisoner squat. So prisoner squat starts with your hands to the outside of your head. We're going to turn sideways. From that squat position, we're going to jump 180 degrees and alternate from side to side. So let's get you moving. Now, again, if you don't want to put the jump in, what you can do is just bring your hands to the side of your head, and you could just be doing your squats facing forward. So you do not have to put the jump and the rotation into this exercise. The reason we do this is because it makes your legs recruit muscles really quickly as you land. But at the same time, if jumping is not your thing, that's absolutely fine as well. So it's up to you how hard you want to work today, as to whether you want to take all the options or take a few of the regressions as well. I always encourage you to give it a go, and then you can take any of the options as you would like to, and relax there for me. Third exercise, we're going down to the floor, and this is going to be a shoulder press up. So hands down on the floor, shoulders directly above the hands. Now lift your hips up into a piked position, and then from here, we're going to lower your head towards the floor. Let's get moving. So think about lowering your head in between your hands, and then push yourself out of this position. If you find it becomes uncomfortable at any time, just stop and modify the movement. This could be a basic press up on your knees. It could be on a normal press up on your toes. Or you could indeed use a wall or a surface and almost just do a basic movement pushing off that surface as well. It doesn't have to be all the way down onto the floor. Try and keep that deep range of movement going. Be strong as you push yourself back up. Last repetition and relax there. Let's bring you back up to a standing position. Okay, so we've explored our first three exercises. Let's do them all again, and your chance to push yourself a little bit harder is now. So the jumping jack to squat, starting in 5 seconds. Remember, you've got the options of the half jacks and then into a squat if you want to. Let's get moving. Pick whatever option you feel comfortable with, and then we can start to challenge your fitness a little bit more. So deep range of movement, try to get down, especially into that narrow squat. The depth is going to be important because later on I've got some big options in terms of pushing your fitness and challenging your muscles in a slightly different way if you'd like to get after it and work hard today as well. So you pick the tempo. If you want to go quicker than me, that's absolutely fine. You pick how hard you want to get after your fitness today. Just over 5 seconds to go. Try and pick it up a little bit quicker if you can. Be explosive as you come out of that squat position and relax there. Great job. 15 seconds recovery. Prisoner squats up next. Hands to the side of the head. Feet shoulder width apart. From a squatted position, push off and rotate yourself around 180 degrees. Let's get moving. 45 seconds of work again. You're doing a great job now. Just keep the back straight. Keep your hands up to the side of your head. This helps your posture. It's not just to make it awkward, but it does a little bit. It means that you can't use your arms as any momentum, which means that you've got to be powerful through the legs as you push out of that squat position. Just over 10 seconds of work to go. This is where your legs are going to start to burn a little bit, but they'll get a little bit of recovery when we move to that shoulder press up. Last couple of repetitions if you can. Keep that tempo and relax there. Let's take it down to the floor for the shoulder press ups. Now this exercise is a tough one on the arms. If it feels uncomfortable on the wrists, change it to up against a wall or do a basic press up. Let's get you ready and off we go. So lowering your head down towards the floor. Be strong as you push away. This is going to require a lot of mobility in the shoulder and a lot of strength from your triceps and shoulders. Obviously, a press up or a push up works a little bit more of your chest muscles. So we want to get after a few different muscles today. We did some press ups in our workout on Tuesday. You can always check that one out on one of our previous videos. What we got left to go? The last couple of repetitions then. And relax there. Okay, great job. So, first round is all done. Second round of exercises. Remember, we will do each round twice. The first exercise of the second round is going to be bear crawls. So we're going to get you down on your hands and your knees. You're going to crawl forward. So lift your knees up, opposite hand and foot, alternate to allow you to travel forwards. Now, obviously, this is where I recommended you had a little bit of space for today, but you have what you've got. So if you don't have much space, you don't have to travel far. You can do the same movement, literally just traveling just a couple of steps forwards and backwards. So you don't have to travel too far if you don't want to. This is where you could be, but if you have got the space, you might as well use it. Opposite hand and opposite leg, eyes looking down towards the floor. And at the same time, you're trying to keep your back straight. So be strong. Definitely going to get an arm workout from today's workout because we have got quite a few exercises. Okay, relax there. Let's grab the mats that are nearby you. And we're going to take you into a glute bridge. So I want you to lie down on your back for me. Get your head and your hips rested onto the floor and then dig your heels into the floor. Press your hips up high, lower the hips back down. So you're creating that big range of movement through the hips. Now just think about your hips fully extending. Think about squeezing your bum cheeks at the top of that movement. So as your mind starts to wander away from doing the exercise, which it naturally will do at times, think about pushing your hips fully. Every single time, that's where the benefit really comes in. Now, I like leaving my heels just on the floor when doing this exercise. It gives me a bit of calf work, hamstrings, glutes, and lower back all at the same time. So it's great for a whole chain of muscles working. So keep pressing those hips high, then lower yourself back down. It will give you a really good range of movement then. Okay, and relax there. 15 seconds to turn yourself over. We're going to get you into a press-up position. Now, this exercise isn't actually a press-up. We say it's a press-up position because you're going to hold a plank. The plank could be done on your elbows as well. I'm going to do mine on the hands. So up into a plank position, I'm going to tap my shoulder on the opposite side of my body and then alternate the hands. So my right hand comes up to my left elbow, left hand comes up to my right elbow. Now, your goal is to not move too much from side to side. Little bit of repositioning is fine, but you really want to feel that your big toe is being pushed into the floor as you lift that hand off and your body is really searching to re-establish a level position. Think about squeezing your quads and your glutes tight to make sure that the exercise has done the best it can do. Keep that range of movement, keep strong, keep holding that position. Excellent. Now rest there. Let's take you through those 3 exercises again. So I'm just going to back myself up here. The first exercise is the bear crawl, then the glute bridge, then the plank with a tap. We start the bear crawl in 5 seconds. Hands underneath your shoulders, lifting my knees off the floor, opposite hand and opposite leg, and away we go. Now remember, you can travel as far or as little as you want to. If you've got the range available, you might as well use it, but you really don't have to. I could quite easily just stay on the mat, just moving a couple of steps forwards and a couple of steps back each time as I'm doing here. So you've got the option to keep the movement fairly small and local, or you can start to reach and extend your arms and legs a little bit more and travel a little bit further. So really big work here. Keep strong. Doing a great job. Just keep that back straight. Last couple of seconds. Then we're going to change. Okay, relax onto that one. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into those the glute bridge walk. So lying yourself down flat onto the floor, dig your heels in and extending it through the hips. Let's get moving again. So push your hips up high, lower your hips back down to the floor. Remember, you're digging your heels into the floor. Now, you could go with your feet flat, But I do find that this works my calves and hamstrings just a little bit more. That's the reason why I'm going for it. But if you would prefer to have your feet flat, depending on the ankle mobility you've got, that's equally absolutely fine to do. Now, one of the options are to lift your hips up and hold them up, and to walk your heels out and back in. So here's a little variation that I like to put in. It makes the core work a little bit more because you have to stabilize, but keeping your hips extended and just walking your heel out, out, in, keeping that range of movement again. Brilliant. And relax there. Let's turn you over. Next up, the third exercise in the second round is the plank with a shoulder tap. So really keeping your body still as you bring your hands to the side. Let's get you loaded up, working positions. And let's get going straight away. Up into that press up position, hand taps the shoulder, place it back onto the floor and alternate from side to side. Now keep control. Feel yourself pushing your big toes into the floor to help fight for that stability when you take a hand off the floor. It will happen naturally. Your goal is not to shift too much from side to side. There might be a little bit, but think about it in slow motion. How stable can you keep? If there were a tray of drinks on your back, would you be spilling them? Or would you be doing your best to hold them as straight as possible? You're doing a great job. Last one there, relax. Okay, now I'm going to take the mat away because our third round of exercises requires us to put in a big movement pattern here. So the first exercise we're going to have a look at is going to be called a thruster. So what we're going to do, we're going to come down to the floor and you're just going to jump your legs in and out. Okay, so we're just holding this position. Now, if this feels like it's too much for your wrists at any time, then just give your hands a little bit of a shake. Even if you were to set yourself a target of doing 10 movements, or even it could be 5 movements, then take a little breather and then come back in and do a second or a third or fourth set of these. So it's not about the speed. I'm looking for you to bring your knees underneath your hips and then jump them back out. Last 10 seconds to go. You're going to start to feel those upper bodies working hard as well, especially as you just start to get used to holding this position on top of the planks with the shoulder taps and those bear crawls. They really start to work. Let's bring you up to a standing position. Give your arms a little bit of a breather. Let's take you into a speed skater, a dynamic movement from side to side where you're traveling anything from 1 meter, potentially up to 2 meters from side to side. Let's go. 45 seconds of work. Big push from side to side. Travel as far as you feel as if you can. You've got a couple of options. You can step the foot inside to maintain a bit of balance, or the foot can stay off the floor to work a little bit of stability. This is great, especially if you're a sports person. Trying to maintain your balance when you change direction is a real key skill. Great for people who are into their running. This starts to challenge your thigh muscles for stability around your knee and ankle joints as well. So lots of benefits from doing these speed skaters. What we've just got to be careful of is the foot coming behind the other leg, which means that you're going to start to put rotation into your knee. Okay, relax there. The third and final exercise that we're going to look at today is a combination. This is a mountain climber to a burpee. Check this out. Into your press-up position. 4 mountain climbers. And then we do a full burpee if you can. Let's get you working. So 4 mountain climbers. Bring your knee under your chest. Then into that burpee. And then reset down onto the floor for the 4 mountain climbers. Now, if the burpee isn't your bag and you want to make it a little bit easier, once you've done your 4 mountain climbers, you can step your feet in and just stand up and then step back again. So you pick the intensity you want to work with. If you want to add the jumps in, stay with me. If you want to walk the feet in and out, you can do as well. I want you to work as hard as you feel comfortable to do. Keep those big ranges of movements and relax there. Okay, now remember, we've got the thrusters next. So jumping the feet in and out. And again, take your time on these. Do them in sets of 5, maybe 10, then take a breather, shake through the arms, and then repeat again. Let's get you moving. So jumping your knees underneath your hips, and then jump your legs back out into that press-up position. That's your goal. Now the arms are going to get working here. So just keep your tempo. No need to rush it at all. If you need to take that little breather at any time, shake the arms out, reset, and then go again. We've got 15 seconds left to work. It's a very powerful exercise. Feel free to take the breaks if you want to. If you're keeping going the whole time, full credit to you. That's a tough way of working out, and you're really smashing today's workout. Okay, let's bring you back up. Let's get you ready for those speed skaters. So a big movement from side to side. For those of you who are chasing a high calorie burn here, this is where you really get to keep your heart rate up, and you can push your fitness a little bit more as well. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Push from side to side, big range of movement. Remember what we said about the feet? They can touch the floor, or you can keep the foot off the floor. Just try and travel as far as you feel comfortable. If you want to move quicker than the speed I am, that's absolutely fine. In fact, if you can, that's even better. See if you can beat me. How many times can you move to where I was quicker than where I'm going? Think about overtaking me as many times as possible. Just got to maintain that form. Remember to keep breathing so you don't burn out. Keep the work up. Keep that tempo going. You've got just 5 seconds to go. Keep those big ranges and relax there. Let's take it down to the floor. 4 mountain climbers and a burpee. And we keep repeating those. 45 seconds, as many as you can do now. It's just you and this one exercise before the finish line here. Let's get you ready in 3, 2, 4 mountain climbers. Drive your knees in and then jumps. Or you can walk in and walk out. 4 mountain climbers. Jump your feet if you can. Reach up high in that jump as well. And again, if you can go quicker than me, that's full credit to you. Do as much work as you can do. Just you and 20 seconds of work to go. Keep pushing yourself. I'm with you with every single repetition if I can. Keep going, whatever speed you've got. We've got 5 seconds to go. Definitely time for one more. And relax there. Great job. Well done. Okay, just loosen up your body. We're going to take you for a few stretches as your heart rate starts to bring yourself down. Reach your arms behind you. Lift your chin and chest tall. Just start to take some deeper breaths together. Think about moving your hands further away from your lower back. Now let's take this stretch into an upper back stretch. So wrap your arms around an imaginary blow-up ball. Think about blowing into that ball so your elbows go wider and your hands move further away from your chest. Excellent. Just loosen your body up here. I'm going to grab my mat. I'm going to invite you to do the same as we take you down to the floor to do a few yoga moves just to allow you to start to stretch out the rest of the body. So first thing we're going to do, place my hands in the middle of the mat, and I'm going to drop my hips down towards the floor. Now my knees are rested on the floor. Bring your eyes to gaze up towards where the ceiling and the walls meet. Roll your shoulder blades back and down and just enjoy the stretch for the front of your hips. After doing a lot of those mountain climbers and those jumps, the hip muscles can be worked quite a bit, so we want to make sure they're stretched out. Now we go into downward facing dog. Push into your hands, lift your hips up high. I want you to bring your feet a little closer, and I just want you to pedal your heels. As you start to pedal those heels, you're going to start to feel a stretch in the calves. Really important because we've done some jumping work. Now let's bring your hips forwards again into our up dog, but this time I'm not going to let my knees touch the floor. I'm just going to allow the weight of my body to stretch those hips a little bit more. Eyes look up still, rolling the shoulder blades back and down. Find it as a working pose. And then again, up to downward facing dog. So hips go high, head goes towards the toes, and just hold it this time. Start to find a little back bend in the upper spine. Push your heels to the floor, eyes look towards the toes, and rest there. Now, lifting one leg up, I want you to really take a big step so that the foot comes as close to where your hand is as possible. Now, if you need to physically move that foot, that's fine. Then I want you to reach your arm up. Push your back heel away, so you really start to stretch out through the body. This is called the world's greatest running stretch. definitely one of my favorite stretches. Bring the hand down inside the foot, step back to downward facing dog, and over to the opposite side. And again, if your foot didn't quite get there, physically move it, wiggle it forwards, pick it up with your hand and shuffle it forwards. Reaching the hand high, back foot pushes away. Really lengthening through this world's greatest running stretch. Then bring the hand down inside the foot. Let's go back to downward facing dog one last time. Now rest your knees onto the floor, going into child's pose. This is where we lower your hips towards your heels and start to creep the fingertips forwards, just so you get a big stretch down the sides of your back. Now from that position, we're going to slowly roll up for your spine, each vertebrae at a time, and bring you back into the center. Let's take you into a standing balance quadricep stretch. So we're going to take one foot into the palm of your hand. You can always hold on to something if you need a little bit of work to balance on. Now bring your knees close together. Think about pushing your front hip forwards. Okay, so you're really extending through that hip joint. This will give you a nice stretch for the top of the thigh, but also through those hip muscles. And when you're ready, just slowly bring that back down and swap it over to the opposite side. Slight bend in the standing foot, lengthen through the hip. So think about pushing the hip forwards. I quite like to think about pushing the foot into the palm of my hand. That tends to give me a bigger stretch through my thigh as well. And slowly release that. Thank you very much for joining me for this Matrix Fitness workout. My name's Matt Gleed. We look forward to you joining us next Tuesday at either 7:45 in the morning, 12 o'clock at lunchtime, or 5 o'clock in the evening. And as I say, we'll be here next Thursday as well. So every Tuesday and Thursday, we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.